we have some scenarios that we're going to be running through. Each of them is going to have. Do we want to do a head judge and a floor judge for each of them?
We don't need we can have like one person be a head judge.
Just the permanent head judge, or
Well, we can have one person be the head judge till it matters, and then
we'll swap to
we'll
someone.
elect
Okay.
a new head judge.
All right, so we're going to have one floor judge, one head judge in case there needs to be a head judge. Those people will step away while we set up the scenario. You guys can see what's going on, and then you guys will get to watch what happens and be watching the judges as they come back and handle the scenario. And then we'll be able to have some discussions and critiques about was it handled correctly and what could be done differently, even just from a how would you take that call standpoint, right?
Do we want to? We don't want any of them to see these, right?
No, the only people that can't see it are the judges.
I'll say that. I think the head judge should just stay over there until the call, right?
That's fine.
Well, I was gonna say we could have none of them see that. That way, when they're saying like, was it handled correctly
That's
or not,
fine.
they don't know the final answer yet.
Yeah.
So it's easy to say it was handled wrong if you know I actually was supposed to be cheating.
We can do whatever.
All right, so David, how about you pick some people to volunteer for tribute?
I was gonna say we have lots of situations, so everyone's gonna get to do it.
Yeah.
So remember, if you're the first, that means you're the best, and the second is the worst. Is that how the saying is?
First is the worst, second is the best.
Yep. Okay. So since you talked, you're the first.
I need to do this one first because I already have the setup
Please
for that.
retire back there until you hear a judge call.
Oh, we're doing
Who's the
the
first head
Oh,
judge?
this is awesome. This is the best.
I told you.
Yes.
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 Yes,
This
this
is
is
literally one of my favorite words.
Who's the first head judge with him then, if you need to?
So this is our scenario.
He's not paying attention. Well, we definitely don't mind calling a judge on
Oh,
Scott.
I don't want to sit in it though.
If you want to be in the shot, that's fine.
All right, David, we need you in this one also.
Oh.
You have to be the third person.
The third person.
Oh, yeah.
This is a very interactive game, man.
Oh,
Did I read this wrong?
Like, do you like squirrels?
Oh, okay. We need behavior cards. So you.
Hey, I could do that.
You're
I have a
on B.
9-month-old.
Yeah.
She communicates with me, I promise.
Yeah, no. That's not gonna fly.
So I gotta get the mindset of what this would mean for me.
If I'm
Okay.
feeding her in the middle of the match, it doesn't matter. I'm still playing for
All right.
her.
He's gonna need to be able to for cards
Ready?
herself.
All right.
She can do that into her mouth. That's where everything goes.
Not the full
Everything goes.
She's attacking with that. How big is it? Oh, it's getting smaller by the
All right, and at this point, you guys can be watching.
At this point, we can.
We just
Except for
started.
whoever's the judge, because they're
Yeah.
gone already.
Judges need to be gone.
Okay, Donovan's way over there. He's fine.
We didn't actually set a head judge, but.
Oh, okay. I was like, I didn't realize we had started.
This is a very real. This is a thing people do.
Sometimes.
It sure is. Mostly old school players, I think. Like,
Well, even
this used to be. This used to. Well, like remember, there was a time before sleeves were invented. So like shuffling was actually a big deal.
Sad part is I don't even notice if Jeff shuffled or not.
It's really interesting. Like the,
Yeah, you guys got to be aware. Anybody could be cheating at any time.
I don't want to distract anybody, so I will shuffle my deck. I've been shuffling for the last like 40 minutes.
Yeah, but I didn't see you over here shuffling.
Did you just present? Wait, hold on a sec. Did you just present your deck?
Yes.
Did
We're,
you guys?
we're not done yet.
Oh, you're not done yet. Oh, okay. Jeff, you gotta like stare at him like the whole time while you're doing it.
Oh my god. Give me a little.
I feel bad. I feel dirty.
Jeff with the aggressive pile shuffled in vintage.
I want to do that the next time I play Magic while I'm like doing piles of 5. Just
Bet. Please do it.
Do you not stare at me like that? I'm sorry, I'm blind about that.
Wait a minute. Hold on a sec here, guys. Could you wait for a sec before you start your game?
sure.
Judge.
I don't know why, but okay.
Jeff feels like he's
So we're talking away from the table, but we're talking away from the table in a place that's close enough to the mic to get picked up.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll pretend
You
we
can
can't
go
hear
stand
you.
over there if you need to.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So yeah, Judge, my friend here just mana weaved his deck, presented afterwards, and the other guy, it seemed to me clearly intentionally, pile shuffled it into 3 piles so that it would undo the mana weave and then just presented it back to him.
Okay.
So that's the situation that happened. I thought that was something that you as a judge would be interested in getting involved.
Out of curiosity, are these all competitive? Is this regular?
So we
This is
actually,
where we're at right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
The situation is at
Cool.
a
FNM.
60-player FNM where the winner gets a box of boosters
So it is regular REL, but like
Yeah.
with some big-time prizes.
hardcore REL.
Well, so you're saying that he mana weaved his deck,
Yes.
and then he did under your
very-
impression a
Targeted pile
yeah
shuffle to undo the effects of that and put all his lands in this spot.
The anti-weave.
That's what happened.
Let us know when you're back to the table.
yeah. How would
So
how
it's
would
network.
he know that he was mana weaved though?
It was really hot.
Because he saw it was out. Okay.
Don't.
Well, you
it
can
doesn't
ask- you
need
can ask
help.
us
Let-
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. How would you?
You need to
know
do your
that it-
investigation like you would normally do it.
Yeah. Come like you just came back to the
Yeah.
table,
Yeah.
so we're still sitting here like,
This is a live role playing now.
what's going
We're
on?
live.
How would you know that he mana weaved it? Like, how would you know that he had his deck mana weaved? Like,
I mean, I don't know that it was, but he had 2 distinct piles, and he was doing 2s and 1s.
okay.
So I fixed it because he's a cheater. I mean, normally if you cheat like that, you get DQ'd. I fixed it so he gets punished and then doesn't do it again. But like,
All right, you need to shut your damn mouth, okay? First of all, I'm not a cheater.
Hang on a
Second of all,
You're
I
very
shuffled
much a
my
cheater.
cards together. You saw me do a push shuffle. I did a push shuffle. That's all I'm required to do. Doesn't matter what happens
Could
before
you-
the push
could you
shuffle.
relax-
I did a push
could you
shuffle,
relax, please?
okay?
Sorry, could you relax,
I don't like
please?
being called a cheater.
you're a cheater though.
I am not a cheater.
You guys are good actors. You're good.
He's better at this than I am.
Yeah.
It is humorous being yelled at.
Yeah.
You. Okay.
Why-
Are you trying to tell me you didn't have one of those was lands and one of those was spells?
It doesn't matter what it was before I shuffled. I
You
did some
didn't-
stuff
you
and
didn't
then I
shuffle
shuffled.
well.
I
You
am
did not
required to
shuffle
push
adequately.
shuffle.
Am I allowed
I
to
push
look
shuffle,
at
okay?
their decks?
Hey, you're the judge. You can do whatever you want.
Body slam.
You can pull one of these. Like, hey guys, we need everybody to pay attention to me now.
It seems to me that this deck is sufficiently shuffled without any pattern.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm not supposed to appeal. Fine, you're the judge. I still think he should be disqualified.
All right, so who has some thoughts about how this scene played out here? Oh, we got a lot of thoughts.
I don't think so.
So
There isn't a thing that says appeal or not. That's a thing you guys are allowed.
Oh, I would have
we
snapped. I would have
talked about
snapped
a
the
similar
seal.
We'll remember that
scenario.
from now on.
Was it earlier this week? Last week? It was like Wednesday night.
I mean, I did
Well,
do
you
one
have-
push shuffle.
You have 2 players that are immediately ramping up. One in particular. But the word cheater is
said to
so
do one, that's what I
extreme
did.
that it's like calling somebody an asshole.
Yeah.
So like it's something that you've heard and you immediately just gotta snap in
maybe
and
the
be like,
way you manage
we're not
my
talking.
3 piles
Like
doesn't
all the
actually
attention's
make it
right
come
Oh,
out.
there was
Okay.
like 8 extra things.
I'm gonna figure out what's going on here, but we're gonna do it in a very civil manner.
Yeah.
So like he jumped, like he got in between. We had talked about
Right,
that
the
using your body
physical.
language
Yeah,
to,
the
like, control
no,
us.
no, I remember that now. I forgot about that until you just told me again.
That's my
Yeah.
That's a
for
good
sure.
technique
Yeah.
to use to get control.
To
of
like
it.
physically get in
Yeah,
and
yeah.
say,
Because you
It's
were
on
trying
me.
to stop
I was
Lyle as he
trying,
was
yeah.
going, but like he was so focused
Yeah.
on his opponent that if you break his line of sight, you can interrupt his focus.
You're
Right.
forcing them to pay attention, which is
Right.
warranted in this situation.
Yes.
Another thought.
So I think with this scenario, when you had the judge come over and explain the situation, you should probably have taken each player aside separately
Okay.
and asked them questions about possibly their shuffling practices that they were doing, because then you might not have had that interaction between the 2 players because they're not in the same scenario.
sure, yeah.
Yeah, if
Then
I call
once-
on Cheeto over there, he doesn't know and he doesn't
Yeah,
know.
and then once you get both sides of the story, go double check, see if the deck was sufficiently randomized, and then from there you can say that it was, and if any objections come to, then kind of discuss going forward. No, I listened to both players on what they thought about the shuffling. I double checked the deck. It seems that everything is in order. And from there, if they want to appeal to the head judge, they certainly can. If not, they continue to play.
So there's so much to unpack in this one. You guys started with it. So
There's no
I
winch
think-
or jellyfish.
I think you got a little thrown off too because like you had a bystander that pulled you away, but in our scenario we're all close.
Right.
Well, exactly what he said. You want to confirm with each player what happened. You got outside information that you weren't witness to. You want to come back in and figure out what happened step by step, and then on top of that, like the weaving, whether it was actual weaving or not, just that style of shuffling and then following it up. That's one of the ones that I like to lead with. Like, why do you do that and then shuffle?
And then shuffle.
Well, because it randomizes it. Like if there's any issue, then it's like, so why even do that? Just do your shuffle.
Yeah.
You want to dissuade them from that kind of action.
Sure. That's a
And
good
you also
point.
want to. You also want to. If you believe that your opponent is cheating, don't just try to fix the situation. Please just pause, call a judge, talk to me away from the table in the future. I would love to be able to do a full investigation.
Yeah.
And I would add also, based on what scenario we're talking about, an F&M probably means we're a local store, probably not even a larger one. If you're the only judge there, you're not going to want to do this by yourself.
Yeah.
You're going to want to go and get a TO for backup like right away because you do need to get these people separated to start with to bring that aggression level down.
Yeah.
And assuming the worst happens here or someone did do this and you might be looking at getting someone out of the tournament, you're going to want to have that TO with you already.
Yeah.
You're not going to, that's not something you're going to want to tackle on your own at a store.
Sure.
Or Lyle could have gotten even more rampant, thrown a punch
Yeah.
or something like that.
I would like to say I've never seen that happen, but I mean,
Yeah.
you never know.
But yeah.
So so any other thoughts before we move on to the next scenario?
I would probably also just go ahead and shuffle his library just to make sure.
Even so?
Because that's
Okay.
you
Yeah.
The
shuffling sufficiently randomized.
Yeah.
The mana weaving thing
This
is
guy
not
called a
illegal,
judge earlier.
but it's bad
You see somebody
behavior.
weaving, just be like,
When players have asked me like, can I do
mean,
that?
that's legal to do.
I've told them like, your deck needs to be randomized. Randomized does not mean a perfectly even distribution.
Yeah.
So like, yes, you can go ahead and do it. But if you don't sufficiently shuffle after that, you're stacking your deck and you're cheating and you're going to get disqualified.
Yep.
So maybe don't do that. As soon as you say the word disqualified, even if it's in the context of like, if you do this wrong, that's a very strong motivator for players to stop
Just stop
doing
it.
a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you say
For
like,
sure.
yeah, you shuffled it and it does appear to be randomized this time. If I come pick it up next round and I see it's exactly land spell spell land spell spell, you're getting DQ'd for cheating.
Yeah.
They're not going to do it anymore.
All right. So a couple of closing thoughts that I had. Number one, from a rules and policy perspective, there's a couple of important things to take note of. It is legal to do a mana weave and then shuffle your deck. Obviously, it's discouraged. Looking at their deck afterwards to see whether it's sufficiently randomized or not is not a very powerful test that you can run due to the fact that if it is, if it was sufficiently randomized, then any ordering of the deck is equally likely, which means that it's, by definition, a possible outcome is whatever outcome you're seeing. Whether it's a very ordered outcome or a very random looking outcome, either of those is potentially a possible outcome of a sufficiently randomized deck. So it's not a really powerful test to look at their deck and see if they actually did sufficiently randomize it.
Okay.
So that's another thing. It is legal to do what Jeff did and not call a judge after that. He might have suspected that there was some rule breaking going on, but it is not known to him that Lyle did something against the rules. And so as a result of that, it's not incumbent upon Jeff to call a judge. He can do a little vigilante justice, as they call it, to do that.
Yeah. If he had actually mana weaved, not bothered with the push shuffle, but I don't the thing is, I don't know that his 2 piles were lands and spells unless I saw them somehow. So, like, if I undo that, there's nothing, like, he could just be like, I drew all lands and then drew all spells, because he did tough.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna move it along to the next situation, and Chris, you're gonna be the judge who responds to our call for this
I
situation.
didn't realize there was another Chris here. That's really cool.
Okay. You don't want to be BS, fine. No, I'll be BS.
We have enough for everybody, and you seem very excited. So
I love this guy.
believe me, we're gonna get to do some exciting stuff today. I'm
trying to
probably
get
gonna like
fat
die
boosters.
laughing.
Oh, man. All right, hold on, let me
Pulling
make
the
sure
seat,
this
by the way, guys.
This one does not have a head judge.
Judging, judging involves
Maybe we
standing for a while, so you can sit down.
Maybe we should get these cards to you and you can pick how many judges we need. That would be easier than just randomly
Yeah.
selecting. 'Cause this one says there's no head judge. The other one said there was.
Wait,
so this one says there's no floor judge. There's only one. Is what I mean. Sorry. Either way.
Yeah, I mean, like, that doesn't matter. Whatever the card says, we can open with the card.
You're right. It's everything.
Yeah, but you're right in the shot. Right in the shot. Look, I'll make you a star.
I'll be a star.
Is this like the
I'll do
casting
whatever I
table?
want.
No, like you see, right in the
might need
webcam.
to
Oh,
get
there's
a-
a camera right in
You
front
might
of
need to
us.
get a consent form really fast.
Those guys are, yeah, people are gonna be
Just don't
watching.
do anything super embarrassing like flipping forward on that table and knocking the whole thing forward like a
How do you
catapult.
know that? So you suggest
Now
now
it's out there in the universe now, so.
Don't like adjust your jeans or anything like that. No.
Don't touch your face. It's like being on the coverage.
All right, is our judge gone now?
Yeah,
he's
we're,
gone.
we're
All right, let's start.
press start to continue.
You can't do that.
I can.
No, you can't.
No, I
No.
absolutely
No,
can.
you can't because it's not random. There's a defined pattern to how you're laying these out. You can't do it. That's not shuffling.
I don't think you understand the way the
Judge!
rules are written.
I absolutely understand. I can guarantee you I understand better than you do. So,
Hi, I'm a judge. How can I help you?
awesome. We're shuffling it. You need to stop. Like, right now.
All right, hold on. I can sense some hostility. Let's just pause for a second. Let's leave everything the way it is, but let's relax.
Sure.
Okay, what's going on? How can I help you guys?
We are shuffling to present for game 1.
Okay,
He is shuffled.
okay.
Real shuffling,
Sure,
Riffles and all the good,
Okay,
normal
I
stuff.
understand, yeah.
And then he starts piling, which he is
Okay.
not allowed to do because it's not shuffling.
Okay.
It's not random. There's a defined pattern.
All right, I understand you believe that you can't do this.
I
and stuff
don't
like-
believe. I know.
All right.
I'm aware.
That's fine. But I'm gonna make the decisions, and we're gonna figure it out from there.
Assuming
Trust
you
me,
make the
we're gonna
right
get it
decision,
right. No, we're gonna get it right. Trust me, I'm here to help you. All right. So, to confirm with you, player, you had shuffled and presented.
If you could call me judge, I'm a level 2 judge.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. That's excellent. So you're going to know that I give the right decision and you're going to support me. Excellent. Look at that. So, and we're going to be all good here. Anyways.
That just makes it worse because you should know that you can't do
No,
that.
it's fine. We're going to figure this out. So, level 2 judge, if you would be so kind as to tell me what happened from your perspective, and if you would be so kind as to let him finish fully here. So what was going on?
I was doing my mass shuffles. I did several of them.
Okay.
Probably over 10.
Okay.
Then when he presented, I realized, all right, we probably need to move along a little bit here. So I went ahead and did my final shuffle. I always do a pile shuffle as my final one to count my 60 cards.
It's not possible.
I know.
Please,
count.
hey, excuse me. Like I said, I gave you a fair chance. You got to give him a fair chance too. Please let him
Make sure you
finish.
use correct verbiage. Words matter.
I will confirm everything. Trust me. Here we go.
As I did my piles
Yeah.
to count my cards,
Okay.
I noticed that he was getting a little upset. He was trying to tell me to stop making my piles.
Okay.
And I was trying to explain to him that I am legally allowed to do one
Bear with me.
per match.
Bear with me.
Or one per game, I'm sorry. And he did not believe me and became very hostile and wanted you to come over.
I understand. So can you confirm that was right? You want to change a little bit of verbiage. I understand that, but for the most
Oh,
part,
yeah,
that's accurate.
Yes,
Okay.
the piles are the moment where I had a very strong objection because you can't do it.
All right. Time out. I just want to confirm where we're at. We're at an F&M. There's 18 players. Winner gets 5 boosters. Example. No floor judge. One. Blah 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 blah.
5 whole.
Boosters.
Got like 2 booster packs.
This did it say we were in round 1? Floor judge. Okay. I just for clarity's sake, are we like final round, final table, first round, opening up?
Does it matter?
Oh, this is the last round.
Maybe a little bit.
They're putting all 2 packs on the line right now.
Maybe a little bit, because like this could be an
Both
example of
undefeated.
why he's getting so ramped up. He's like, I gotta get those boosters.
They're both
do have to get those
undefeated. They
Right.
they want those 2 booster packs and
Right,
we're gonna open up some. I don't know what's expensive in standard.
Kaladesh, Masterpiece, Soul Ring, that kind of stuff. All right, time it. All right. So as I understand it, we did some shuffling. We're like, how much time has passed here? I want to see if this is like a reasonable kind of shuffling. Are we like 8 minutes into round 1 shuffling? Reasonable. Okay. All right. So, guys, we're already 8 minutes in before you called me here for round 1, and we haven't even presented decks. So that is an issue on its own. However, policy does state that each player gets 1 pile shuffle to count their deck, as this L2 judge has pointed out. That's what he was doing. He is pile shuffling to count his deck. He is allowed to do that once per game at the beginning of the game. So he hasn't presented to you he can do this. However, we do need to move things along, and shuffling a bunch, having your opponent then present, and then deciding to do your pile shuffle is time consuming. So what I'm going to do to help everybody out here, I'm going to allow you to finish this, and I'm going to give you guys an extension. We're going to add time back.
That's wrong.
That is not wrong.
You need to show me. I just don't believe you. I get that. Yeah, you're judges. You're very, very smart people. Whatever.
Regardless, pause.
But
Pause.
you need to show me
Hold on.
for us to play and do
Hold
this.
on.
That is what has to happen.
Blair, I would like you to listen to the words that I'm saying. All right. I am the head judge of this event, hopefully. I'm the head judge of this event.
Sure.
I do not need to present policy to you. My final ruling is how it's going to be. It has nothing to do with the fact that he's an L2 and he believes to know things too. It is my ruling. This is my understanding of the rules. However, after your match, I would love to present you with that information. I will pull it up and show it to you. But for this game, this match, this is my ruling. This is how we're going to move forward.
Sure. I just want to make sure that you're actually there and going to show it to me because it
I
doesn't
will.
exist and you're wrong.
No, this is not.
And I can't wait till
Listen,
rub your face
listen.
in that and then his.
Okay. We're going to pause your game for a little bit longer. Would you come and speak with me over
Yeah,
here?
yeah,
All right, you don't have to get up. We're going to pretend that we're over here.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be like, I'm going to give you one more chance here. The way you were speaking to me is extremely disrespectful, and it's not okay.
It's disrespectful because you're wrong.
This is not...
I know you're not getting that you're
Listen.
wrong, which is difficult.
Listen, this is the final time I'm going to tell you. I don't want you to come back with, you're wrong, I don't believe you or anything like that. This is your final opportunity.
Is that because you're going to change your ruling? That I don't need to come back with that then?
You're not gonna continue with this, right? I'm gonna tell you right now, it's gonna stop, or I'm gonna have to remove you from the event. And I prefer to not do that.
I mean, you might as well remove me because there's no point in playing an event where the judge doesn't know what he's doing.
All right,
and my opponent doesn't know what he's doing.
That's fine. Come
Yeah.
sit down over here. We're gonna go do some paperwork, and then we go.
Perfect.
Got him.
I was a little less mad.
What is your
and a
card?
little more
Full. Competitive player. Behavior is obnoxious. Check.
You have to read what this says too.
Player A. A cheat must be disqualified.
Yeah.
Player A shuffled multiple times, finishes with a pile shuffle. Player B calls for judge thinking that the pile shuffle is illegal. Player B goes mad crazy.
Mad crazy.
Mad
I feel like he
crazy.
was less angry
Can we get one of
shouting.
these?
I gotta tell you, when he gave me his judge voice, I had a brief moment of panic there. I was like, whoa, cool it.
Please.
I think that you could have pulled at least one of them away from the table at some point to kind of get. At least I would have probably pulled him away from the table.
I was close.
I would pull me.
I was close, but the fact that he did like stop and I was like, we're gonna get through this. You're gonna let him talk. And I think the fact that he went to that, I was like, maybe we can work this out.
At the point though that he interrupted so many times, I definitely would have. At that point, I might have just said, okay, well, I'm gonna pull him away. So that way he can get his a full accounting in. Otherwise, he might not feel like he's being heard properly.
Can you stay here so I can see you too?
sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Another thing that you said was you said to calm down and in some situations.
I don't like using calm. That's
Yeah,
fine.
you did say to
I
calm
don't like
down
that.
at one point, which unfortunately, super competitive, aggravated players sometimes hear calm down and say, I am calm. At which point,
It's a ramp up. I agree.
Yeah.
I try not to do that. Yeah, that is a good point.
it's something to
So-
easy pitfall.
It is 100%.
I would like to offer personal advice because I'm noticing something that I have had problems with before, and I'm an extremely loud person.
Sure.
I have an extremely loud voice, especially when I'm passionate about something.
Sure.
And I can tell that you have a loud voice as well. And I think it's very important in a lot. I would say the default for most judge calls should be coming in maybe soft.
Yeah.
because you don't know if it's going to be a conversation like this. And when it's already someone who's hyped up, when you come in loud, they can see that as someone being aggressive towards them, and then they get louder in defense.
So one of the things I like to do, and Donovan knows that I prefer to do this, but like we had all this stuff out, and I didn't want to knock over. I like to come in and I like to do one of these. What's up, guys? How you doing? That kind of thing. Yeah. And then like when it starts doing that, that's when it's like, well, here's how this is gonna work, kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah, the stand-up power move was very good. The whole like arm in here, get in, you eyes, look up at me. We're done. We're not doing this anymore. I kept doing it because I'm going.
My one piece of advice.
Yeah, I was like, stop.
I've gotten in trouble for this before. When you are taking a judge call, or even just sitting next to somebody, don't really touch them because that can gauge a very visceral reaction from people, especially those who don't like to be touched.
That's
and so that can lead to further aggravating a situation. I know I've done that before, and it has been not good
that's totally
situation.
fair.
And then I agree with that. Speaking very calmly in a situation can cause it from de-escalating. Staying very monotone can very help.
Yes.
Can help very much.
So, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of background. Before I did this, I worked at a few different places, but I did a decade as a Paul Blart mall cop, and I got to the point where I was running the department kind of thing, and I did a lot of training. I was teaching defensive tactics classes and all that kind of stuff, and it.
Really?
Yes, and everything you guys are saying is true because 100%. You go to you make contact kind of thing. This can ramp up some players kind of thing, and you have to readjust for that. But through all of that training and all of that experience, and it's locked into me now, it's so hard to develop and change kind of thing because I have all these backup techniques kind of thing. Is that from a point of authority, trying to make quick contact and be like, everything's gonna be good, man. We're gonna get through this. And then if it goes bad, it's like, I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to do anything like that. It's literally the double down on I am here to make this situation better. As far as the monotone and the whispering, I understand that and everything like that. The problem is when you have somebody that is ramping a little bit. Most of the training for defensive tactics and stuff like that, and even for police level, is that when you are met with a level of threat, and that could be literally anything, that can be aggressive talk and stuff like that, you need to be able to go one step higher and control it so that it comes down. Doesn't work with everybody, just like physical contact doesn't, but you'll have some people that try to ramp it up, and then you have to go to different means, obviously. But this is the built-in mechanisms that are in my person now. I have pretty decent results with them, but I understand the other aspect of it as well too, and it also works very well.
See, it's interesting. I'm not challenging what you're saying about your training. I'm a school teacher. I'm a special ed teacher for 5 years. That's my degree, and so we have training in how to handle children who are losing control of themselves.
Yep.
And ours is the exact opposite. When you want to be calm, to try to give them something to anchor onto so they don't want to continue.
We had the same thing with as soon as you suspect any kind of maybe a mental issue or just a very extensive social anxiety. We had the same thing. It's you adjust your tactics.
You go way down.
Right. And you're just whoa, no man, come on, everything's gonna be okay, we're gonna get there and all that kind of stuff. Yes, 100%. You gotta adjust to the situation. Absolutely.
I would say coming in quieter is always good. It is important to know when to break out your judge voice. If it's clear the player is going to keep talking over you, if he just stayed quiet, I would have just drowned him out under myself. You do have to be able to, at some point, go over the player enough so that you can get through that they need to stop talking.
I thought all the times you chose to use a judge intervention as far as stepping in or trying to dictate something were all the correct times to use it.
Yeah.
I thought you paced that conversation very well for sure.
Thank you. All right. Anyone want to say anything else before we move to the next scenario?
Good job.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Very well
Thank you.
done.
Like I said, I love this kind of workshop, and I have seen it done from the other side many a time. So.
Look at this one.
All right. Who's next? All right. We have all
See, I think we don't get another ballistic one over
over
5 packs.
This could be interesting.
5 over 5 packs again? Oh, yeah.
Putting it on for the 5.
You want to be A or B? Actually, what's
Make it make sense.
Chris, this is John.
VP?
I like the color, by the way.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm done.
Oh,
I don't think you're doing this.
I know this one.
I'm
I know this one well.
About a year and a half.
Yeah, and
Multiple times a week.
You think I'm
real
on
disappointing.
You think I'm
I just
making
think you
decisions?
I want to see if I can say that, like,
I'm gonna pull some cards out.
get a bunch of stuff.
Have we sent a judge over?
Yeah, if she can get a bunch of like those guys fights.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Right.
There's obviously too many.
Somewhere way over there.
I don't even know what the good cards are in here to pull out.
Whoa, 2?
Two. That's where we're at, man. That's where we're at.
We're not in a good place.
We got 2 metallurgic summonings.
Oh man, we can have him answer a fun
Where's
judge
the-
question
They
too.
need to be enchanted.
Are we entering at the
What
same
about that?
time?
No, there's
Metallurgic
enchantments.
summons? I think you're thinking of
Oh, which one am I thinking?
mechanized
We
production.
need to order
Mechanized.
pizza, right?
Okay.
Wait.
I don't know how I played these with only one blue source.
Probably not.
I'd probably avoid that one.
I was about to say, where's
Yeah,
the
they
second
always
blue source?
do. They're like, this building
Got
is huge.
destroyed, then shuffled into his library.
I don't know
He committed it.
Yeah. I've never seen something. So
Make sure.
Friday nights were literally packed. We had
About 200 people.
And you're
yeah,
A?
we had
Yeah, I'm ready.
You're right.
like 15 older.
Right.
Oh, sorry, go
Start
ahead.
the scenario now.
Just trying to match.
You have it your turn.
Okay, I'll draw for turn. Actually, in my upkeep, I'm gonna scribe. Sure. So
Alright, we got like 10 minutes left, man.
this is gonna be hard to beat, but I think I have an out. I'll put it on the bottom.
Okay.
Draw for turn. You have no creatures in play, right?
Nope. Oh man, like I don't have anything. You can like let's get moving.
I mean, like if you have cards in hand, right? Like, I wouldn't say you have nothing. I'm gonna cycle this thing.
okay.
Okay.
Are you like literally thinking about what to do every time something new happens, or like have you like?
I'm
thought
just thinking
through
about what
this?
you could have. I'm trying to figure
Well, why
out how
didn't
I'm
you
gonna
think
win.
about that on my turn?
Because I have new cards in my hand. I drew 2 new cards and I scried 1.
Can we please hurry this up?
Yeah.
Like
I will. I'm gonna attack you for
Okay.
3 points of damage.
No blocks.
Okay. You are at 17. I am at 20. Correct.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna do this on your turn, I guess. I'm gonna cycle this.
Okay.
So trigger. I can go get a basic or a desert.
Really?
There's a lot of choices. It's all the basics and all the deserts in my deck. I'll get this one,
All right. Let's.
and then I draw a card.
Okay. Okay. We're down to 6 minutes left in the round. Your turn's taking 4 minutes so far.
I did like 5 things. I will draw for my chef at monitor. If I play land this turn?
Yeah. Play this one.
No, I got this one with the chef at monitor.
Is it? Okay.
With the
fine.
trigger.
Then you haven't played one. I don't care. Just go.
I'm just gonna play land.
Okay.
You're good.
All right. Go.
I don't think that works how I want it to work.
Like you didn't already know what you were gonna do on my turn?
No,
Like nothing changed.
I don't know if I want to blow one of these up. You haven't cast a spell. I assumed you were gonna cast a spell at some point.
All right. Well, can we pick this up, please?
I'll blow one of them.
All right, fine.
It doesn't matter which one. Keep white. Or green.
Judge.
How can I help you, players?
We've been here for about 5 minutes, and I have done nothing. And he has done nothing in 5 minutes, but he's had a priority the whole time.
Okay, so
I mean, I didn't do nothing. I
He-
cycled some things. I activated some abilities. I activated this ability. I attacked. I drew some cards. I didn't do literally nothing.
His last turn progressed the board basically actual 0,
put a
and it
picture
took
in
him
play.
4 minutes.
okay, so just to get some clarification, it's your turn right now, correct?
We're in my upkeep. I'm debating if I'm going to scry.
Okay, so
There's one counter on this as well. I forgot to get a die.
no, that's all right. We can get you one. So you're in your turn right now. You're just thinking about what interactions that you wanted to do
Yeah.
with your treasure map.
Yeah.
And from what it sounds like with you,
He's up 1-0.
okay.
And I don't think he's trying to stall. I don't think he's cheating.
Okay.
But I'm a judge. I understand the definition of slow play. And when he's progressing the board 0 and I'm not taking any part of the game at all to do anything, it should not be taking him 4 or 5 minutes for him to do his turn.
We can't say I'm progressing the board 0 when I've
Look.
put a permanent into play.
Hold on, I was just give me 1 second. I just want to talk to each player and make sure that we kind of get a good clarification of what's going on. So it sounds like to you that your opponent's taking a little bit longer than you would expect for a normal turn. Is that correct?
It's taking significantly longer.
Okay. Now you are. It looks like, from what it sounds like from you, is that you are kind of interacting and making your choices
I'm
here.
doing some stuff. I mean, it's not my fault. It's not like a big flashy creature. I'm just cycling and stuff.
Okay.
But, like, that takes mana.
I do understand that, and I just want to let you know that, as your opponent said, you know, we do actually have to have some progression to the board state, just so there's not a.
I mean, like, are you saying I have to put permanents into play?
No, just that you have to
I don't
actually be progressing the game state, so moving into your other
Is
phases.
activating my cards and stuff not progressing the board state?
No.
I mean, like, I'm doing actions. If that's not progressing the board state, I don't know what is supposed to be progressing the board state. I mean, like, if you were to let me go search for a creature, I'll go grab one out of my deck so I can, like, cast a threat.
No, I understand that. We just need to be making sure that
how
we're.
come it's taking you 30 seconds to scry and then 30 seconds
I haven't
between
even
scry?
activated it yet.
Did on your last turn.
It was a tough decision.
Gentlemen, I'm going to ask you to not speak directly to each other regarding this issue. I'm here now. We're going to solve this issue together. I'm just going to ask that you play it at a little bit faster speed with your choices, just so that we can play a good game of Magic.
But how does that get me back all the time he just stole from me by taking so long, by making very, very long decisions?
Well, obviously, we both know that Magic is a very complex and thought.
How complex is it when there's nothing?
There's
The
not
board's,
nothing. Look at
the
all
table's
this.
empty.
Your
All the stuff
table's
here is
empty.
his.
My stuff's not empty.
Gentlemen, I think we already discussed this. That we're not going to argue about this issue. That I'm here, and you can go through me, okay?
But even if he plays faster now, you're telling me that because he played slow earlier and now he's going to do better, that there's nothing we can do about that time.
That is correct. We're just going to bring this scenario to attention for right now, and going forward, just make sure that you play at a little bit faster speed, so then all the players here in this match get fair time.
We're at time in the round, right? Yes?
I mean, probably now.
Sure. Do you want to
There's
just
1 minute left in the game.
Do you want to just hang out and watch our last minute?
No, unfortunately, because there's a lot of other Magic players playing
It
in
would
this
make him
event.
feel a lot better.
I understand that, but I think with my ruling right now, that you will be playing a little bit faster.
Sure.
That
So you want us to play faster, you're going to leave. That's the end of it.
yes.
Okay. All right, let's call it there.
Oh no! Let's go like halfway into my turn.
Okay.
So he walks away. Sure. I'll scry.
That's not how fast you were
Draw.
scrying.
Now
Exile
you play
this
this
to Hoster
fast.
Desert. Attack for 3.
Fine.
Land.
Why didn't you do this earlier?
Cycle. Draw a card. I'll fight this guy. And then I don't have command. I won't fight that. Go.
All right. End your turn. Nothing.
Nothing.
All right. And then the clock's probably about to go.
Yeah. Now we're in turns.
Yeah. Now they're on turns. Okay. All right. So
now we can go to discussion.
yeah. Let's let you guys start because I have lots of things I want to say.
Yeah, I
So
like
let
it.
you guys start.
I would like to say things, but I want other people to go first.
It was a painfully slow turn. Like,
He can't know that though.
Yeah.
Is the problem.
You also could have called a judge a lot earlier.
Yeah.
I was trying to make sure I had plenty of reasons to complain.
And I got lucky
was
that the
wondering
cards
what was
left
taking
let me
so long.
think
I'm
about a lot
standing
of
over there.
things. I was like, ooh, there's some cycling, and then I
Said that
cycled
long
into a
ago.
cycling card.
Literally.
It felt bad to watch this.
Oh, it was egregious.
My
But
heart.
he doesn't know that, so let's.
Who wants-
I don't think anything has actually been resolved here so much. You still have a player that's very upset and a player that honestly doesn't seem like they even took anything away from what you said.
And I played faster.
Yeah.
For 10 seconds.
We were, yeah. Time was up. I wasn't worried about it. I played fast.
Yeah, you had your hand up, Scott.
I'm sorry, what's your name?
My name's Tyler.
Tyler?
Yep.
I don't, no. Did you tell me that earlier? I may-
Probably not. Probably
Great. How long were you at that judge call?
not. Probably just for a couple minutes.
Okay.
So
Scott
probably
likes
should have given him a time extension for that. Yeah.
That was one thing I was going to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
That was
Okay.
why I asked that very specific
Yeah.
question. You're just going to tell us to play faster and leave.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't give any time back for like the time I was slow before.
Yeah,
because
that's what I thought that the
right,
question
and
was
I felt
referring
like
to.
that's what he was saying, that he's not giving you time for later, not
yeah.
the also time extension, but we did miss the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
personal thought is if one person is complaining about slow play, I'm usually inclined to believe that person, just because slow play is pretty underpenalized anyway. People don't usually recognize it very often, and so if it's gotten to a point where one person is as worked up about it as I appeared to be, in my personal opinion, I would probably be inclined to listen to them pretty believably. In which case, if you do believe that there was slow play, then the other thing is you do get that time back by adding 2 extra turns to end of turns. Right?
Okay. See, like the way that
Or
I thought
regular,
this
so you would communicate to them, because it's not a formal slow play.
Yeah. But you could,
Since
at
you-
regular, you could still choose to let them have
Right.
2 extra turns if you felt that was appropriate.
I wouldn't give the 2 extra turns until I see something slow. But the problem is we're getting close to time, right? It could be that you're trying to rush
Yeah, that's-
because
that's
you
what
need
I
to
got.
win, whereas I am playing at a reasonable pace. I'm just not playing
fair.
as
Yeah,
breakneck
since
as
you
you
said
want.
that your opponent was up a game, that's where I kind of got that from. Is that you were trying to like
Right. We
But at
can't
the same
make
time-
someone play breakneck
Yeah.
just because you need to win. What I would do though is I would stay at the table and watch.
Okay.
Barring like, if it really
Also,
is,
if you had referenced this, there was only 18 people in the tournament
Oh,
to
you
start
ruined
with.
my thing.
yeah.
I didn't
yeah.
know that there was a card
Yeah.
to look at. Okay.
Anytime you get called
Two
for
of that
slow
haven't
play,
gone.
Yeah.
stick around.
Okay.
Read the
Number
white
one,
card.
well, one
Even,
of the
alright.
main things you
even
gotta
at
do
like a
with these
Grand
things,
Prix,
check
I
the
stick
scenario.
around.
Okay.
Do a
Yeah.
timeout, check your scenario.
Because
ask
reasonably,
questions.
an 18-person tournament at end of rounds, there's probably very
we might be
fair
the
that you
only
could
one.
watch
Yeah.
this.
But even at 1,000-person Grand Prix, if someone bothers to call you for slow play, I usually stick
Someone
around
needs to stay
for
this.
at least a couple minutes.
Okay.
Because you can monitor, like, in this case, if I continue to play slow, now you can give the slow play warning and give the 2 extra turns. Or if what happened, which is you let us go, and I immediately start playing fast because we're in the last 30 seconds, now you can come back with the additional question of, why are we so fast now?
Okay.
So,
It's because I told you to. No.
I mean, that could be, and then you can more confidently walk away that I've adjusted my behavior.
Right, and something that Jeff didn't react to, like the overreaction of like, oh, you want me to rush? So I like to present the I need you to play faster kind of thing as I'm not telling you to rush, but I do need you to make decisions faster.
Yeah.
Because that prevents them from like then making dumb mistakes just because they feel like they have to rush.
Okay.
And then they feel over penalized.
Is the yes for cheating, Dave, or just yes, you are doing the penalty on purpose?
The first one is if you are doing it on purpose.
Which is
Okay.
cheating in most cases.
Yeah. So I was doing it on purpose, which goes to
We
illustrate
saw that.
how. I mean, you could see that watching.
Yeah.
But even watching, like, this could be a tense spot.
Yeah.
You're never gonna know if I was actually stalling unless I'm dumb enough to say it.
Yeah.
Watching how egregiously slow that was, you can agree, yes, we should issue a slow play. But there's no way you're in my head to know if I'm intentionally doing it or if I'm just like, I really want to actually win this game. And, you know, there's a lot on my side of the board at least. So, like, there are some decisions. Maybe I'm just taking a little too long for each thing, which is why I agree with what Lyle said of slow play is undercalled. It's much better to err on the side of caution because a lot of the time, unless you stick around and they keep doing it or they say something dumb in investigation, it's real hard to catch when they're intentionally doing it. So the least you can do is stick around and get those 2 extra turns if possible so that you can sort of mitigate the damage they've done,
Okay.
intentionally or otherwise.
Also, kind of the difference between slow play and stalling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
A good way to look for that as well could be if there are spectators around. Ask one of the spectators, pull a spectator away from the table, and ask from their perspective to see how slow the person was playing. Or if somebody was like sitting next to them that's not a part of the game, you can also ask them as well if they were paying attention to it to see if there were
Obviously,
any
like
cues that you could
this is
pick
really
up
good
on.
because I don't usually ever see the call for slow play.
Yeah, no one ever calls it, but they really should.
Yeah.
I got Twitch famous once just because I was the camera judge for Star City and I slow played a guy on camera and Twitch like exploded.
I'm
Yeah.
sure it was just applause! All hail the judge!
Yeah,
slow
you
play
ne-
Brett
you
Nelson?
like
No.
never see.
A word of caution if you're going to ask people nearby.
Yeah.
If you're asking another match, it's fine to ask a quick question, but don't interrupt their match long enough you need to give them a time extension.
Okay.
If you're asking spectators, it's fine if you're just gathering more information, but if you're going to do that, make sure you ask them if they know either of the players.
Yeah.
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 If you're going to ask the guy sitting behind him, make sure he's not his friend first,
Yeah.
because, like,
Yeah, this guy was
that's,
totally slow
that's
playing
gonna
him.
tint what they tell you, and it's
Yeah.
fine. You know, if you ask 2 different spectators and they're both friends with him, but they both say like, yeah, he's pretty egregiously slow playing, you know, you still haven't seen anything, you still aren't really gonna do anything, but it gives you a little more weight for, you know, watching the rest of the game from there.
Okay.
So, 2 things, to be honest, to spoil you guys. Get some information, pause these scenarios, figure out what the scenario is, where you're at, GP, F&M, that kind of stuff, your position and all that. Sometimes it even comes up like this person has
I would
been
have liked to have read. I
talked
guess I
multiple
didn't know
times
that that
about their
card was
aggression
sitting
kind of
there.
thing. That stuff will sneak in there, and it's useful information because you're like, oh, I don't have to do all this. We can just jump to this. And the second thing, I love slow play calls because I like to come over and I like to talk to the player, and they're like, oh, this has been going on for 6-7 minutes, and I'm like, okay, awesome. In the future, call me after a minute and a half.
Yeah.
Call me after 2 minutes. This is so far out. Like I have to find all kinds of information now, which I'm okay with. But like, you can reach out to me. I'm here to help you. You know, let's go for it. Figure out
there's
you
one
know,
over
a little
here.
bit about what's going on, and
Yep,
then be
here we
like,
go.
okay, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of an extension
gonna leave
for
my
the
board
time
up
that
because
I've
there's
been
nothing else
here.
I can make with
Yeah, I'm
this
gonna
thing.
hang out in the area, just kind
You
of
make a
watch
bunch
and
of
see how
tokens.
things
Yeah,
are
so
going.
that's a big
If
one
there's any
that's-
other issues, I'm gonna come back.
That I didn't really know about is
Sometimes
someone
it is
hanging
bad
out.
that
in
it
there.
gets
You can totally do that.
I also
Like,
couldn't play any
especially
spells there
if you got
because they were all
somebody
sorceries and I didn't
that's
want to do
getting
stuff on my
worked
turn.
up because, like, while there might be 50 other people in the room, this might
And
be
all
the
my
only
stuff
one you
was
have to worry
cycling,
about.
so
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, that's part of the thing I said. You kind of abandoned the match, but I got other things I gotta go do.
Is that for the next
Yeah.
scenario?
Yep.
I'm on
Okay,
that team. I gotta
I
go
won't
soup.
ask my question.
All right, let's see who else we got.
We need a head judge and a floor judge for this one.
So you 2 left, right?
Yeah.
Well, oh yeah.
Oh, and
Oh yeah. Hey.
You're not sneaking.
You.
You're hiding over
Shane,
there.
you.
Yeah.
Here,
No
and
hiding.
we'll announce it to make sure everyone's on the same page. This one's a PPTQ, level 1 floor judge, level 2 head judge.
Okay. So you pick who and who.
Yeah, Scott, you want to be the head judge? How do you feel about being a?
Fine, or do you guys want the opportunity to
Oh yeah, when do you want to step up?
judge.
Okay.
be the
Oh,
head
head
judge?
judge. You're the head judge.
Oh, head judge?
I can be the head judge.
All right, good job, Torrance. There we go.
I have no problem.
They asked me to be a
So we have to
L3
commit.
head
Which
judge of
one is the one that's-
what was that?
PPTQ?
Oh yeah,
Let's call
we
it
need
an
status
RPTQ.
cards.
We got
I need
you guys come over here.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Got one
I
yet?
forgot. I said
Grab my water. Get it.
ready player B this time. Cool. So I'll let you be player
I'm gonna
B.
have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because of my description, I think it makes more sense if I'm player B.
The first thing I yell at
So
everybody.
I will make. Do you want to make
What
the
time
GM?
did you show up at that call?
I have one.
How about this? We're arguing
August.
over how many tokens I should have out.
I was gonna
I
play
know
this
it
naming.
because I learned it through
I already know these two.
All you've been doing
So-
is check, Chris.
so
High
thank you.
protection. Name card.
Shit, Scott.
It's not a card. So I can do arguments.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Because mine is.
Does that mean I need to
mine is
be?
arrogant?
So I need to be the
And
person
now?
that calls. Because the person that calls is the one that has to say it.
No, I'll call the judge. You'll say.
By the way,
Okay.
Oh, good. No, you're supposed to be lost. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
This
Yeah, that's
gentleman's
fine.
name.
So you can call.
You guys are all
No, not you.
Okay.
I'll be the lost
You
one.
notice too, and I'm just
Okay,
like,
sure. Yeah, that makes more sense.
You're just
Sure.
No, it's
Alright.
it's
I know, it's just like, I know.
Practicing his double.
All right, you guys ready to watch?
Everybody ready?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right, I got a bunch of artifact tokens.
Oh boy.
All right. This is gonna be lethal, man.
Yeah.
That's how much better I am than you.
Okay. My spells cost one less.
All right, fine.
I'm
It's
just.
not like you can do anything.
I'm just doing math to tap my stuff, dude. What kind of tokens are these?
Construct.
Construct. Okay. I'm gonna play Gideon's intervention. I'm gonna name construct.
Judge! 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 Get here now! Judge!
Is that not?
Ignore him.
No, not you. Get another judge.
Ignore him.
I don't want you. Go get somebody else.
Man, I can help you out, sir. How may I help you?
This guy played a card that has to name a card, and he named a token.
Yeah,
Can I
I'm
not
just gonna need you to speak a little bit calmer. What is your question again?
He
I'm
played
sorry.
a card that says name a card, and he named a token. It's not a card. Look, you clearly don't know what you're thinking about. Please go get somebody else that knows something.
Hang on, sir. I'm coming in on this situation. I'm looking to learn about this situation so I can accurately answer it for you. Okay, so what seemed... Mind if I actually read the time out real quick?
Take a look at that first. So you know what world we're working in. We are Compariel.
You are phenomenal
you are.
actors, and I hate it.
You
It's
are.
terrifying.
You are. All right, time back in.
Can I not do this?
All right, mind if I...
Does that say token?
Hang on, boss.
I didn't know these
Hang
were
on there.
words.
Hang on there, sir. Let me just read this real quick. As matters, choose a card name. Come on, cast. Permanence control with chosen name. Okay, so I'm gonna pull you off to the side really quick so I can just speak with you real quick about the situation that happened.
Stay here, so we're still in the camera.
Yeah, you're right. And if I could just get you to face this way so he doesn't see you. Like,
I just want the microphone to be able to hear me.
okay, but yeah, that way.
We're pretending that we can't see each other. It's fine.
Okay, cool. And that way I'm still able to see the table and make sure. So what seems to be the situation?
He played a card that says name a card, and he named construct tokens. He can't do that. This is not very hard.
Okay, so with naming, is there any other issue that popped up, or was it?
No, he can't do this, and I'm trying to win the game. You're taking too long. I would like to appeal. Please go get the head judge.
Hang on one second. I have not been able to make a ruling yet. If you would like to appeal that ruling, you may do so. You can.
I'm appealing the fact that you haven't made a very easy ruling yet.
So hang on there, sir. I need to make a ruling in order for it to be appealed in the first place. So I am going to give a ruling, and you may appeal it. So as I can see, it says you can choose a card name. You can choose any card name, and construct is one of them because that's the name of the token.
No! Appeal now, because now you're wrong.
Okay, I will go and get the head judge. I'll be right back.
Lyle, you're a monster.
This is so against my character. I feel very uncomfortable just doing this.
You seem very comfortable doing it.
So do your appeal here again.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. You obviously have to tell me what you
So,
think here.
so I have an appeal where player
can't hear
casts the Gideon's intervention, naming construct, and that's a token where a lot of them on the board, and the card says choose a card name. So I said it's a perfectly okay card to name.
and I was appealed too. So.
What else happened here? Because I could hear
That's
a
a loaded
disturbance. I heard a disturbance from the other side of the event hall here. I need to know what is going on.
I'm worried how many people we made uncomfortable in the rest of the story.
Oh yeah, no. We do this. It happens every time.
Oh, okay.
They don't get used to it.
His opponent had played a card that.
Sometimes like, oh no, what's happening?
Pizza guys like never deliver.
No, it's fine.
It's verbally, very, very loud and very aggressive towards me. He tried to appeal before I even gave a ruling.
Okay.
Like that. So it's a little volatile situation.
Not against tokens.
Okay, so let's go to the game here. So you have a appeal?
Yeah, your idiot judge got the ruling wrong.
Please, sir. I need you to take a second here, and we need to refrain from using that kind of language here.
Well, I'll tell you what. You make the right ruling, I won't have to say anything anymore.
The ruling notwithstanding, I need you to change your language.
Can you just explain to this guy that he can't do what he did?
First of all, I need to let you know, by appealing before the floor judge could even make a call, that you're going to be getting an unsportsmanlike conduct.
There is nothing unsporting about me.
Can we clip that one?
Judge is out of context? That was good, Lyle. That was good.
Doesn't help I'm sick too, so I'm like coughing. So this does name a card. You are correct that this isn't going to be.
I know I'm right.
That's not the problem, sir. Your behavior is becoming more.
My behavior is happening because he messed up and made me angry.
Okay, and that's why you have the right to appeal to me.
Well, if he had let me appeal what I wanted to, he wouldn't have made the wrong ruling and made me angrier.
You still need to give him the opportunity to make that ruling.
Sometimes you just know, man.
You-
I don't
you
need
don't-
him to say something. I know he was wrong.
At the point that he's called him an idiot, I'm probably going to try to pull him away from this game entirely.
You can turn him sideways if you want him away
like-
from the table.
I'm sure I'm loud enough that mic will still hear me.
Yes, I'm certain you are. So I'm going to take you aside and let you know that continuing on with this behavior and using verbiage such as idiot and other words is going to get escalated. An unsportsmanlike conduct minor, which is what you'd be receiving for just appealing the call before he could make it, is only a warning. If you continue on this path, though, we're going to have to go upwards from this, which is going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct major.
Well, he was majorly wrong, so...
Him being wrong, it does not matter in this situation.
I feel like it does if I don't get to win my game.
We can continue on with your game. The ruling I'm making is that you were correct. He didn't name a card. Tokens aren't actual cards. That means that you're going to get all the time back that this call is taken. I just need you to go back to your game with a more level head. And
Fine,
I need
let's
you
go.
to treat the judges more appropriately.
Absolutely, sir.
Well, there we go.
Now we're done.
We
So,
yeah.
I'm going to name a different card, and then I'll kill your tokens with our
Okay.
station.
All right, comments.
Wow.
Oh, especially that last gesture.
Yeah, that's instantly.
Don't let them push you around that much.
Yeah.
If it's getting to that level, it's like, okay, we're gonna pause. We're gonna come back to the game. We're gonna go speak over here.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be like, it's gonna be a similar thing. It's gonna be like, I understand you're upset. I understand you believe that I'm gonna give you the wrong ruling, and that might happen. But I'm gonna go with it's not gonna happen. Give me a chance. If I mess it up, that's fine. You can appeal. But it is completely disrespectful and unsporting.
Yeah.
To be trying to appeal me before I even get over here.
I would go back to even when I called judge. My honest opinion is if you are going to the call and the guy's already yelling over and over for a judge, clearly I'm already worked up, and then I tell you no, not you, or something to that effect. Regardless of how you feel of whether or not that's the same as appealing or not beforehand, I would want backup immediately.
Yeah, I would.
yeah.
That might have been something where you could have sent somebody else. Hey, can you go get that gentleman over there for me really quickly,
That
just to
you're-
pull a bystander?
You're
over?
walking into a situation you don't need to be in by yourself.
You don't
Okay.
want to leave the table, but you need someone to come help in that situation.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because you don't ever want to leave him alone at this table because he was a volcano at that point. He was already erupting.
So the scenario here is we're at a PPTQ.
Yeah.
So you should be able to flag the head judge.
Yeah.
For me, if a player does something like that, yeah, I'm getting the second judge basically right away.
Yeah.
The second they turn around and say, I want a different judge, that is USC minor.
Yeah.
I'm not playing any games with trying to come to the table and give a ruling there.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going straight to that. So at that point, I'm just going to call my judge over. If you're a Grand Prix, you get someone else to watch the table, the player behavior or something. But if a player's already starting on that footing, you're not going to get a ruling out to them. Like, you can come and you can try and control it and calm them down, and you might even get a ruling out. And, you might be right, and then they just, let it go on. But the majority of the time, they're just not even going to let you finish.
Okay. Makes sense.
What was your persona on that one?
Lost.
Passive as
About to
I
say,
was
because
lost.
I didn't even know what was going on over here.
I was
He
lost.
was just he didn't even try to be like, oh, well, I guess that's anything a problem. He was
I
just
was
like,
innocent. I was just legitimately I didn't know you couldn't do that. Whoops. I'm sorry. I'll cast my wrath instead.
because that's the thing. I didn't hear a single word come out of him.
No.
And he was the whole time just going off, and that's part of the reason. It might have just been simpler to start with pulling him off, because if he's not even objecting to anything, you do want to come back and you do want to get his side of things.
Yeah.
But at the time that this guy is so volatile, you don't want to make him. He could be getting more quiet just because he feels threatened in this situation.
Yeah.
He could feel more and more threatened, and at the end of the day, you don't know if he felt so threatened that he's never going to come back. You might never see him play Magic again because he feels that this is what happens at PPQs.
Right. And you did over the course of the ruling, ask, does that match up for what I said? And I sort of meekly was
Yeah.
yeah, that's what.
Yeah,
Because it is important, especially in scenarios where you have a dominating player.
Yeah.
Most of ours it's been egregious. We're giving some sort of penalty to them, or at FNM we're asking them to leave or whatever. But there's going to be a lot of calls you take where one player is just very insistent, not quite to USC minor territory, but enough that they're not really letting the other player get a word out. It's important that you do confirm.
Yeah.
You don't want to run through the okay, this person is very insistent, this is what happened, and then you ask the other player, or you forget, and if you had, the other player would be like, that's not what I said. I didn't do that.
well, that's not really how it unfolded.
Right.
One thing I did want to commend you on is when you came over to take the appeal and you saw me look at him when I was yelling, you made just a slight step to break the eye line. I thought that was really good, just making sure that I can't focus on him and I'm having to focus on you.
I'm a very big guy.
Alright. So, if I'm remembering right, it looks like we should have just one person left. To
And who's up?
We could do one. Yeah, I mean, our time was technically up at 5:30, but I don't mind doing one more if everyone else wants to do one more. Yeah.
So get
I
everybody.
think it's fair. Everybody gets their shot.
Let's pick one more.
All right, yeah, let's, here.
Did you mix them back in or did you get something?
I put them all together, so we'll grab one from over here. So we're in the finals.
Then I gotta head to my store.
Oh, okay. This one has a floor judge and a head judge. A level 2 and a level 1.
Do we want to send somebody else out?
No, for modern.
Scott, you get to,
You get to actually do it now.
I'll take this.
He's the L2.
You guys came here to learn.
Somebody
be the head judge.
Booney, go be a head judge.
Player A.
Yeah, you said you wanted to do one more. But
Come on, Booney.
I'm gonna ask you if I played.
I live this.
You're gonna say yes. I'm not convinced.
It's okay.
That's okay, because when I got there, I was like, that is not right. I was like, either he is intentionally
I mean,
blowing
it
this,
has a
or
yes, so I
Oh no, I intentionally. I
don't want to be cheating as a judge.
I mean, sometimes that happens, unfortunately.
there's a chair over there, Booney. Just sit down. You don't need an initial
bit of
reaction. You're not initially coming to the table.
I'll just have to use some play.
You should have the floor judge tell you that something. What?
RPTQ, 160 players. We're in the finals.
Well, I can't do that. I'm an L1.
no, you can
You can get floor judge.
Go.
You're
You don't need to hear
that's a
anything.
great RPDQ.
Good turnout.
Yeah.
It's probably constructed.
Let's mill a couple over to make my graveyard look realistic.
It looks like it's constructed, that's for sure.
It's definitely constructed.
Chaos Seal.
I am both surprised and happy that we haven't had to do a count.
Hold your breath.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Cool. Draft turn.
Oh, don't forget that.
Oh yeah. Sorry about that.
Who am I again? Am I angry this time?
Got any angry left?
Is this the one I'm doing? I don't think I drew anyone.
Let's add this. I'm gonna activate this.
Okay.
This probably isn't doing anything at this point. Have I played a land this turn?
I think so.
Are you sure? I don't feel like I did. I feel like I knew I was gonna do this turn, and I have to play a land. I don't think I have played a land.
I was pretty sure. I thought you played this and tapped it to activate this.
I thought I got this off. I thought I played this. We'll let someone else sort it out. Okay. Judge!
I feel like there should have already been a judge here if this is the finals, but I mean.
Learning opportunities.
Hey guys, how can I help?
Hey, this should be relatively easy. I don't know if I put a land. I'm pretty sure I haven't. Like, almost certain I haven't, because I knew I was going to do a thing.
Okay, where are
But he
we?
said I did.
Where are we in the turn right now?
Main phase 1?
Yeah, I drew and I did this, so like draw, exile a card or whatever. So we're still in my main phase, yeah.
Alright.
No,
Okay,
I'm
so-
pretty sure that he played this and immediately tapped it to activate this.
Alright, you both have a lot of lands. We are pretty deep in the turns. Have any of you missed the land drop this turn?
This turn? I mean,
Or this game?
it would be hard to say.
I
We've been
couldn't
playing
tell
it.
you.
Yeah, we've
Okay.
played a
Yeah,
while.
I played a ramp spell somewhere. Like, I'm not super certain if I've played a land or not. I'm not certain, but I'm pretty sure I haven't.
Alright, how many lands does each player have? On the board currently.
9? I have 9.
I have 8.
But I have ramp spells in my deck. I have
Well,
one
so
of
do
those.
I.
Okay.
Alright.
I'm missing. That's why I know I have
Right,
more.
like, for
Right,
free info,
so-
I was like 100% sure I knew on this turn I was gonna do this and this. This cost this much mana. Like, I distinctly remember thinking about that.
I was
right?
pretty sure I was going to do this, but I don't speak German, so I don't know what it is.
Alright, who is first turn?
I think you started the game? Because I ramped
Man,
2
it-
lands out at the same time, which is why I have more than you.
Yeah, that would make sense. Because, like, yeah, you have Our Promise in there. I mean, it's gone because stuff. But
Yeah.
So you both agree you got the first turn.
I think so, yeah.
So in theory, if you both hit your land drops, you should have one. You should have. Yeah, even amount of lands. If you won't hit your land drops.
But I've
Eight,
I've
but you
played
have
I've played
nine.
some ramp spells multiple times because I have like I can put my ramp spells back in my hands, so I kind of exploded with my lands.
I know I've played at least one. Oh, I had a Wayward Swordtooth, too. So, like, that would let me play 2 lands in a turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty certain I haven't played a
But
land.
I'm not trying to like I don't think he's like doing any internet things trying to get 2 explorers or anything like that. But I just pretty sure I remember him playing this and tapping it to activate this.
I definitely didn't. There's no way I would have done this if I had already played a land. Because, like, I wanted to play this card.
So it is very clear that it is unclear if you have played a land.
What do we need to do? Like roll a dice to see which
No.
one of us gets to be right about this?
No, we're not rolling dice. That would be not good practice. So based on the current situation, because it is unclear, I'm gonna go with that he has not played a land yet, so
Alright.
he still gets a land drop.
Well, then I would like to appeal.
Alright. Good. Appeal.
Great reference, Lyle.
internet reference.
I didn't want to throw a name out there on a video that might be
that's
associated
still
with the
great,
judge program.
though. That's still great.
Alright, so talking to you away from the table. They're unsure if the player on the right has made his land drop on the turn.
Okay.
They both have a lot
Did
of
you just put a
lands.
land in play for your graveyard or something? That doesn't look very seemly.
Yes, but not in the context of this.
I don't know if we're still doing the scenario while they talk on the show.
I should have
Player on the right
thought a little more
wants
before we
one
set all this up.
first.
We could have
Could've
set up our
set the
graveyards in
graveyard.
such a way that they could actually count.
Yeah, should have thought about that.
Jeff doesn't break character until we're wrapped
Okay.
on the video.
The player on the
That was my first time I looked up.
So there's been a couple land drop misses.
Okay.
Commit to memory.
I will
And
then I
was
played
my
more
first
stuff.
thought. And I was like, what is the one that could be like?
Right.
I can't talk. I can't reference cards because I don't play any standard. I don't know what any of the cards
Okay.
in this deck do.
All right.
Otherwise, I would probably be able to give a better argument.
All right, match players. So my L1 here kind of informed me a little bit. Looks like we're having a discussion about how many lands
Yeah.
you should have in play.
Yeah, I don't think I've played a land. I haven't played a land this turn.
Okay.
The more we talk about it, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I definitely didn't play a land this turn.
Okay. Well, here, if you want, if you can just come with me, I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Well, I'll just turn this way so we're still.
so my L1 was telling me that you went first, and then
We think.
okay.
It's been a long game.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I went first.
All right. And he kind of looked over your lands, looked over the board to see if there was any kind of ramp spells or anything like that. And I'm kind of looking over here.
I
as
mean, like,
well.
he has one more land than me, so like, yes, we cast some ramp spells, but like, at least at the baseline, we could assume I have one less than him, so I should be able to make a land drop, right?
Well, I just want to get as much information before I make my ruling, okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So let me go talk to the other player real
Sure.
quick, and I'll get his opinion.
Yeah, so I am like 99% sure that he played a colorless land and then immediately tapped it to activate his artifact.
Okay.
So like that's the only reason I'm like kind of hung up on this because like I remember watching that land come into play and get tapped.
Okay. Is there anything else that you can think of? Why?
I mean, this turn's only he's taken one action this turn, so it's not like there's been a bunch of things that I could get confused about.
Okay. Well, I have heard that it has been a pretty long game.
Yeah, it's been a long
So-
game. I mean, we both put our graveyards back in our decks a bunch of times. So like,
Okay. Well, I just wanted to get as much information as I could about what's going on in the board state.
yeah,
Let me go back and talk with my L1 real quick.
Okay.
And then I'll come back to the table, okay?
Yeah. Step here for the camera.
Yeah. So after
I feel like you're just
talking
gonna negate
with
my
some
spell
of the-
anyway, so it's not
some of
really
the
gonna
players
matter,
and
but,
stuff
like,
that,
I would like to
think
cast
that, your ruling is correct. Just because of how
Oh,
long
okay.
we
Well,
have
now I can
progressed
speak
in the
German.
game.
So
So if you want to come with me and we'll go back to
How
the
about
table.
my
and
Blitzline
I'll
shot?
put your ruling, okay?
are all your cards in German, or you like German cards?
No, I
We're
got
back
a
at the
German box
table.
mix on
Uh,
accident.
All right, players. After talking to each one of you and talking with my L1, unfortunately, with how long the game has progressed, there's no real way for us to determine if the player has played the land or not. So I am going to uphold my L1's ruling and allow the player to make their.
There's a camera like literally right there. Can't you go look?
Well, actually, player, we have had this issue before, and cameras cannot be used to determine the game state of it.
Are you sure? I thought they changed that.
Actually, isn't it like timeout?
Timeout.
I believe that that's the case that they cannot use.
I mean, you're the head judge.
So I can play my land.
You can
We
play
cool?
your land. Yep.
Boom!
Negate.
8 drop.
Negate.
Well, that's
That's gonna be a negate.
All that for the
I believe that the camera thing that was an issue on the Pro Tour that it came to be.
Yeah, they changed it.
They changed it.
They did.
They're allowed to use it.
Oh, so they
camera
can
now.
use the camera
Yeah.
now. Okay.
I mean,
Jeff,
there was some
what
shady
was the
stuff
thing
that
you're
got
like,
caught
I was
on
gonna do
camera
this
too.
turn?
Yeah.
Sandworm Convergence.
How much mana?
8.
And you would have had 8 had you not
Activated the artifact.
thing.
Yeah, I drew this off of that. I had already played my land. I just really wanted to cast it.
So are you cheating?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, players may not request that a judge consult a video.
Yeah.
Oh, that I did not know.
Yeah.
Okay. I did not know that.
The judge can use it, but
So I want to say I feel so bad for you guys because I feel like these are the hardest ones.
Well, it is. That's the point.
Doing counts are so.
If that wasn't
especially
a
when
real
it's not,
count
like,
if we were
set
smart,
up
we would have
to-
set it up so you
Yeah.
actually
Right.
could get
I
more.
wanted to see.
I thought you guys
that
would
would've
get
been
a
hard.
backup one, but
I wanted to see if you guys were going
good
to try
job
to count.
for what you
Yeah.
did do, guys. Like that's a rough one.
Well, the thing was, I was like, I don't see a graveyard over here, so I was like, how
We're
they can't
both
do
playing
a
like,
count.
commit to memory.
Yeah, so they can't count.
I'm not.
Well, we could be. Scott.
Good. Remain calm. One thing that sort of diminishes the authority of any judge on your team when you're the head judge, they have roles that are defined in the MTR. That is your floor judge.
Yep.
Calling him by his level can come off as dismissive of
Okay.
his call. So,
Okay.
good questions to ask when you're like, we're not sure if this thing happened. Is figuring out. I mean, it's tough.
So
Especially
just
if,
use, like,
you said,
floor
you have all the
judge
commits
for that?
memories and stuff that
Yeah.
you're on off, and so like when you try to do a count though, normally the questions you want to lead with are, hey, who played first? So you guys got that. Were any mulligans taken? And then you guys know how to do the, this got a card out of my library. We're gonna set that aside and not count it towards the total card count. I'm not sure that would have gotten.
I've never encountered card counting before. There's an article.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not terribly difficult, unless you're in a board state like where there's no graveyards like that.
It gets.
Yeah.
I think the hardest thing about a count is that the players constantly want to interject and
Yeah.
and this and this and this and it's like, I would just let me count. Just give me a moment to think
Yeah.
in
But-
silence.
On the other side of that, though, I've found surprisingly that if you do a count for the players, they rarely argue with you. Because it's like I've had so many players be like, "Oh my God, you just like magic counting thing, and I don't know what happened, but I know you got the right answer."
Yeah.
Like I've had that happen so many times.
So
I
that,
have
that
never
link
had a
is in
problem.
the.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the link.
Okay. Yeah.
One other thing about counts, and I learned this the hard way at an RPTQ, is that if you're gonna do them, have them fan out their hand, and then you double check that it's actually fanned out and there's not like a card stuck together.
Yeah.
Because we did one. We determined yes, you're missing a card, and we did the fix. We applied the penalties and stuff like that. They played a turn, came back, and he had an additional card. So we had to do a backup then. To do it was awful. So
It was not pretty. I was working that event. I
Yes.
was not on your team, but I saw like 10 minutes of like 3 judges at a table.
it wasn't great. But I had Meg, so it was okay.
So
is this the count?
I just impromptu did this because it's fun to look at. This is the number of cards the opponent has. We'll
Okay.
assume it's a straight up check.
Yep.
So this is the total number of cards the opponent has access to. We'll assume that number is accurate through various. They literally never drew any extra card. All they've done is play lands and draw cards per turn.
Yeah.
Count this number. The number we know to be accurate.
So we got
Or we might not know it's accurate, but we have that number to start with.
14,
Who went first? Queuing out participation.
15, 16, 17.
We'll get there in a second.
So
All right.
17.
Oh, in our scenario.
Now try and count my board.
No,
So we have
they didn't show up for my event. They weren't there. That
8,
event included ours.
9,
Sorry, dude. You can get them new player boxes, but like I don't have promos for them at this point. They missed the event.
19, 20.
That looks like too many, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Does this count? How many cards over here were generated by this card?
2.
2, right? Okay, so this is gone, and we get rid of one of these. Now we're at break even, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How many cards over here did this generate?
1.
Okay, so we get rid of one from over here, right? You asked them about the planes.
You got rid of both of them.
Did I
Yeah,
get
you-
anything?
Hold on.
Yeah.
You messed up with getting rid of both.
No, because I got rid of the Chefette monitor itself.
No, I'm
But
saying
this
here.
replaces itself.
Yeah, this is a replacement.
So you just said
Oh, sure, you're right. I grabbed an extra one.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, so we get rid of this because we're not counting.
Okay.
Cantrips don't count, for example.
Okay.
You ask about the Planeswalker. Do you draw any cards on these? No, I put them all on the bottom.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the rest of these, nothing that you can see generated extra cards, right?
Correct.
Now we count. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. How many did he have?
17.
Cool. If I'm on the play, and it's his turn,
Yep.
Shouldn't he be up a card on me?
Yes.
You gotta know whose turn it is.
Okay.
But like, you don't necessarily need to know what turn they're on.
You're
If there's-
comparing their numbers to
Right. You're comparing total numbers. If he has 17 and I have 17, we need to make sure, like, okay, if I went first and it's his turn, he should be up a card on me.
Yeah.
But if it's my turn,
That's
yeah,
an important
ask
question
about
to ask as well.
mulligans.
Yeah.
But if the relative counts are off,
Yeah.
for example, like, let's say I was on the play and I have 18 cards. Now you know something's up. Either with your count or I got extra cards somehow somewhere. Because I should be even or down, and I'm somehow up.
Okay.
Likewise, if he's ever 2 cards up on me, you know something is up as well. Because there should only ever be 1 card different between the 2 players.
I've seen a lot of judges when they start trying to count cards without being like trained in it very much. They try to get to 7. They want to try to get to that starting hand size, and they're just trying to see, do both people, can I get back to the original number? I think that's convoluted and unnecessarily complicated.
Just count totals.
Just count totals and compare to see they should both have the same number, or if they don't, you should know why.
For me, I count fetches, cantrips, stuff like that are 0. Yeah. Because they replace themselves. And I count, like when you're looking at all the cards on the board, and I count cards like Chef at Monitor as a -1. Because it got 2. Divination would be a -1.
Yep. Okay.
So like you can do a quick count of like cards available on board. So if I'm looking at these, it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Because
Okay.
this is a 0.
Oh,
Sometimes
okay.
it takes a little
I
more.
like that.
It's
a
sort of
lot
like
better.
counting cards
Yeah.
in poker if you've ever looked into that.
Yeah.
Like deck checks. It's the system that works best.